Okay, today's video is going to be a little bit different because instead of doing the usual price update videos that I normally do, I want to take a step back and ask a more important question. Was 2025 actually a good year for Bitcoin, or was it a bad year? And the reason that question matters is because depending on how you measure it, you can come up to completely opposite conclusions. If you look at Bitcoin from a simple year-on-year perspective, December to December, then honestly, it doesn't look that great. But if you actually look at Bitcoin through a cycle and phase perspective, it actually tells a very different story. And that's what I want to walk through today, using this chart that I've spent many hours putting together. I'm Harvinder. I've been in Bitcoin since 2015 and making these price update videos since 2022. I focus purely on price action and structure. So smash the like button and let's get into today's video. First of all, we want to reframe the way we judge Bitcoin. Most people judge Bitcoin using calendar time. Did it go up this year? Did it go down this year? And that's not a bad approach, but the problem with this approach is that Bitcoin has never really moved in exact calendar years. Bitcoin moves in cycles, and within those cycles it moves through phases. If you judge a cycle asset using just a normal 12-month ruler, then you really end up misreading where you actually are. So for this video, I'm not interested in whether Bitcoin was up or down compared to last year. I'm interested in where Bitcoin actually sits in the broader cycle structure. I want to explain this chart properly because this is the foundation for everything else that I'm going to talk about. Across every completed Bitcoin cycle, we see the same sequence of phases. First, we get a bull run, and that's expansion, trend acceleration, momentum. And then we get a bear market. That's when the price just crashes. That's deleveraging, forced selling, confidence collapses. And then after that, we move into the accumulation phase. Now this is a long, very boring, sideways price action where interest pretty much disappears. And then from there, we get into the transition phase. That's where higher lows start to form, volatility compresses and the market quietly changes without most people really noticing, except for analysts like me. And then, to most people's surprise, we all of a sudden move back into the bull run and everything starts getting crazy again. The key thing here is that I'm not trying to predict exact tops or bottoms because no one gets that right. You might get lucky now and again, but I'm really just looking at Bitcoin from a phase perspective, not, I want to see what phase Bitcoin is in, not the actual precision timing. And so looking at phases can be a lot more useful when trying to guess exact dates because you're probably going to get it wrong. Now let's look at the bear market consistency. Now something really jumps out when you look at this objectively. Bear markets are remarkably consistent in their duration and it's normally roughly about a year, give or take. So what this tells me is that Bitcoin bear markets tend to last roughly the same amount of time every cycle. They don't drag out forever. Eventually the selling just runs out and all the weak hands just get weeded out. Next you've got the accumulation and transition phases. When you combine the accumulation phase and the transition phase together, they're also fairly stable. And this is where Bitcoin rebuilds itself. Supply moves into stronger hands, volatility dies, and the narrative interest disappears. And this is really where most people give up. Then you have the bull runs, and bull runs are the most exciting, but also the most variable part of the cycle. But even here, there's some kind of boundary. They're not short. Historically, you don't really get a full bull run that lasts just a few months. Even the shortest bull runs lasted around a year. So where are we right now in the cycle? This is the part everyone cares about. Right now, based on this framework, we are still in the bull phase. We're roughly 422 days into it. If you look back at previous cycles, bull phases haven't been short. The 2012 to 2013 run lasted around 372 days. And then the price went up 10,000% during that time. The 2017 bull run lasted around about 526 days, and the returns were just over 3,000%. The 2021 run, that lasted about 542 days. And even then, the return was closer to only 700%. So what you can see is that as Bitcoin matures, the returns do get smaller, but the time spent in those bull phases are kind of the same. And what's happening right now is not late cycle behavior. If anything, it suggests to me that there's still plenty of room in the cycle for things to go even further. So, looking at this chart, if I assume something like 560 days for this cycle, which would be consistent with an asset like Bitcoin, which is maturing, that points towards a potential blow-off top around about March, April time next year. Now, let me be very clear, this is not a prediction, this is a scenario that fits within historical boundaries and contexts. So we're no longer early in this move, but it also doesn't feel like the end. And I could be wrong, because the truth is, no one knows what's going to happen next. We've just got to take it day by day. Now let's answer this question properly. Was 2025 a good year for Bitcoin? I'm going to give you a balanced answer here. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it was a good year and 3 reasons why it probably felt like a bad one. So the 3 reasons why it was a good year first. First of all, Bitcoin made a new all-time high. It actually made several throughout the year. That alone tells you that this cycle did not fail. Second, Bitcoin continued to mature as an asset class. The price became more event-driven, more macro-sensitive, and less driven by purely retail. Third, Bitcoin spent a long time consolidating at historically high levels. Long consolidation at high prices is not a weakness. That's just repricing and establishing new areas of support and resistance. Now the other side. 3 reasons why Bitcoin failed in 2025. First, the price is lower than it was 12 months ago. Now that stings psychologically. Second, we broke key support levels on the way down. We've been in a 3-year uptrend, and now we're in a downtrend. Now this alone has damaged confidence amongst many analysts, including myself. Third, the lack of a real blow-off top has left people thinking that there's some kind of unfinished business here. Now this is where I think people are still stuck in outdated thinking. Bitcoin is becoming increasingly event-driven, not time-driven. Even halving itself, it's not a clean calendar event, it's a block-based event, so there's no 100% exact timing here. Like even the next halving, we don't know exactly what date it's going to fall on. Closer to the time, we can make more predictions, but it's more of a there or thereabouts. And when you add in ETFs, liquidity cycles, interest rates, geopolitics, expecting Bitcoin to neatly peak by December because that's what's happened in the past, that's a mistake, and it's been proven to be a mistake. Now, this is the most important part of the video, because right now, I still believe we are in the bull run phase of the cycle. Yes, we are in a downtrend, but we're still in the bull phase. There's a difference. If Bitcoin holds and bounces from this level here that I've been talking about for a while, this 72k level, then I believe the bull phase is still intact and the price is likely to go higher onto new all-time highs. That would be consistent with previous cycles. But if Bitcoin does break this level and falls down towards the 60k area, then that would be confirmation for me from a trading analysis point of view that this bull run is likely over and that we've moved into the bear market phase of this cycle. And really, who knows what's going to happen from here? These cycles, are they still going to be intact? I think so. But if this does happen, and I don't think it will, it's really going to change everything. So it's not about emotions here, it's about structure. 2025 wasn't a failure year. It was a reframing year. And if you think about it, it punished people who judged Bitcoin by calendar returns, and it rewarded people who really understand cycles. Right now, based on everything that I see, I still believe we are in the bull phase. But like always, the chart gets the final word. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. Was this year a flop? Are we still in the bull run? Or have we really been in a bear market these past few months without admitting it? I make these Bitcoin video updates pretty much every day, so if they help, please like, subscribe, share, and comment down below. I also go live every Friday, 3 p.m. UK time, and I go through the charts and answer questions, and you can tell me if there's any charts that you want me to look at. 2025 has been a challenging year for a lot of people, but the chart always tells the truth. Let's see what 2026 brings. I'll see you in the next one.